to figure out where I was last night, because I know I wrote a little bit. Alright, anyway, I will figure that out in a bit, but in the meantime, hello and welcome to a special edition of Tea Rights. I'm Jax Devora, a fantasy author. You might have caught me on Blue Sky, and in fact, if you're on Blue Sky, consider clicking that little link to join our little chat. The chat is open to everybody. You can say whatever you'd like, so long as it doesn't violate YouTube 2S or make people feel weird. In about 30 minutes, that would be 3:20, we're going to begin the first of several word sprints. We're going to go for as long as I feel I kind of need to. I think around maybe 6 or 7 o'clock I will actually break the stream. So it is currently Eastern Standard Time, by the way. So 6 or 7 o'clock would probably be about 3 or 4 hours from now. I kind of hope to do this earlier, but you know, here we are. In any case, if you've never heard of a word sprint, it's pretty easy. It's you have a certain period of time to get as many, traditionally it's get as many words done as you'd like, but here in Tea Rights and Night Rights, it's a sister nately companion. We like to take the word sprint and words very loosely. You can basically do whatever you'd like so long as it improves your life in some way, and so long as you can do it for 20 minutes straight. After the 20 minutes, we will talk about ours, again, are 20 minutes, but it can really be any length of time. But for the purposes of these streams, it's going to be 20-minute sprints for the full Pomo experience, at the end of which we will take a 15-minute break. During those breaks, I'm thinking about doing something a little bit different than usual. Normally I talk about whatever, but because I also kind of forgot to respond to Faveline Friday posts. Faveline Friday, incidentally, is my Friday tag, wherein I invite people to post their favorite line that they've worked on that week, whether that's writing, editing, translating, what have you, and support other writers. And normally I kind of go through on Friday or Saturday in order to read all of them, but I might have forgotten this weekend. So I might be reading some of those aloud. I'm not 100% sure if that would be cool, so very likely it would be me discussing things while I read. But in any case, there will be 15-minute breaks between each sprints, so there's going to be multiple sprints. How many? Again, normally we go for only 3 in Tea Rights and Night Rights, but I would like to go for as long as I feel would be kinda cool. So, John the Crazy Skull has joined us. Hello and welcome, long time no see, and that's entirely my fault, my bad. Life has gotten crazy, but it has finally kind of settled down enough for me to start these up again. John says, I have awakened, what's up? And I say, what's up right back, welcome, welcome. Let me know how you've been doing. That has been the icebreaker question for the past few sessions. Today's icebreaker is kind of silly. Normally an icebreaker is like a writing question that gets you in the mood for chatting. But today it's like literally what's your favorite kind of tea, because I couldn't think of anything before I hopped on. And I couldn't think of anything because if you saw on Blue Sky, I had to deal with shenanigans, basically. And the thing is, it's like, okay, first off, I will answer my own icebreaker. My favorite kind of tea is Earl Grey tea. Cream Earl Grey specifically, fresh brewed from the tea leaf, but in terms of iced, I really don't care. I haven't had tea in a long while because it's hot as balls, and I do miss it. I do have to see if I can turn my loose leaf tea into iced tea at some point, but today is not that day. In any case, yeah, if you saw on Blue Sky, and I will say this just like very quickly, the story goes that there was this one dude who would interact with me in the writing community, no less, and they often posted AI slop, and I called them out on that, And they weren't mad about it, but they gave this weird excuse, kind of like, oh, oops, I found that on Google Images. Teehee, my bad. I guess Google Images is filled with AI slop. And I'm like, I don't buy that. I hope you realize that. I didn't say that to him or them because, like, I'm trying to. I'm doing a really bad job at hiding who I'm talking about, but like most people probably don't even know. You can probably check Clear Sky if you really want to, but like I'm not going to call them out on my stream and tell you to go and mess with them. I'm not about that. Like, but I will say that was the dumbest thing that they could have told me as an excuse for posting AI images. And so I unfollowed them and stopped talking to them. And I kind of hope that they got the idea. But today I posted a picture of Benjamin, my bee partner. And it's because I made crepes today. And I was like, haha, look, it's our usual Sunday afternoon. We have crepes and coffee. Benjamin's is filled with honeycomb and whatnot. And this dude comes in and he just comments, very cool. And this is the first time that I've seen him in a while. So I check his profile and look at the media tab, which is open to the public. And I scroll through. It's like kind of weird looking landscape, weird looking landscape. Kind of Lisa Frank-ish fantasy setting. None of these have alt descriptions, by the way. And then 11 days ago, a whole bunch of quote-unquote character art that's very obviously AI generated, and not something that they could have possibly Google image searched. Not that that was a believable excuse to begin with, but in this case, it was like there were nameplates of the character in the art that was very uncanny and obviously AI gen. And I'm like, okay, so you took absolutely none of... You were not listening whatsoever, and you assumed that I'm an idiot. And now you're posting on my images, and you are showing that you are paying attention to my content. And honestly, I do not trust anybody, any AI bro, or any AI supporter whatsoever. Not because I think that I'm important enough for you to steal my stuff, but more because you never know who will. There are stories of people who have like random small ideas, and then somebody who's listening is like, oh hey, that sounds really cool, I'm gonna go feed that to an AI generator and see what happens. And I don't know, like, on top of that, I don't put in my profile no AI, but like I am very much not about AI. Like, if AI were used only as a tool for assistance, that's one thing. Like, one of my friends tells me about how he works with people who are overseas and they use AI to translate their work into English, kind of like Google Translate used to, only a little bit better. And I'm like, okay, yeah, if it helps in that respect, fine. If it is used as like in the medical field to like detect tumors, as there were early uses back whenever AI was still very new, there would be like stories about AI doing that. I'm cool with that. But when you use AI to generate art, you are basically not only the whole argument about how you are missing the point of creativity and missing the point of art, while also taking opportunities from artists who could have drawn that for you. It's not just that, but also I am very like, you only have to spend like 5 seconds on my profile and watch me go off about bees to think that maybe I might have something about some interest in the environment, right? I fully hate data centers. I am fully for the idea. Somebody, one of the Forager Instagrammers had posted this idea. I think it was like Black Forager, maybe? The one, or Black Forager, incidentally, as a sidebar, is a fantastic creator. Go follow her. Go buy her. I think she has a cookbook out, or an identification, or both. But she is so fantastic. You will learn so much about native plants and how much of wild plants in the United States are actually just right out there and fully edible. It's great. But you also learn to appreciate. But I think it was her who posted this idea that you want to go and find federally protected endangered plants and then plant them near near sites where data centers are planned to be. And I'm like, I am all for that, because data centers consume so many resources, and they are just huge chunks of concrete that do not improve the surrounding environs at all. And bees, as it is, suffer from habitat loss thanks to industrial landscape, the industrialization of their habitats, the growing agricultural use, or the consumption of agricultural fields, the encroachment of suburban and suburban sprawl with absolutely no native plants in that suburban sprawl to support pollinators. It's like this is why like, I'm not blaming individuals. It is all like the industrialization of our society, industrial farming, all this concrete for processing data and power and manufacturing and all kinds of other shit. All of this, it means that there's less land for the native bees. And honestly, I'm not gonna be like that doomer who's like, the human race doesn't deserve any of this land or whatnot, but I am going to be like, if we're not even going to bother saving ourselves, at least save the bees. Come on, dudes. And I know that's kind of a funny thing to say, because, like, of all the things that I could be fighting for, it's the bees. But, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like if you save the bees, you save a whole bunch of other stuff. Because not only because they pollinate our food and support the wild plants and the wild and domesticated plants that we rely on, but also because they are essentially tiny canaries in the coal mine. So if their populations stabilize, then that means the air quality is fine, the climate's fine, the water's fine, everything is fine. Even better if they start recovering their populations. But if they're in massive amounts of decline, that means that we have fucked up the environment so bad that we're going to be next not too far afterwards. So I am very much save the bees and save the world kind of thing. But long story short, yes, do not post AI slop. Do not feed into the AI machine. Save the bees. And also, if you follow me and you support AI art and you start and I see you start commenting on Benjamin's pics or my snips or anything like that, I will fucking block you. I'm sorry. Like, I don't even care how nice you are and how supportive you are. If I see Ozzy Osbourne with dick fingers, as I saw on this person's profile, because they thought that it was just like thin fingers. No, it was dick fingers. I'm sorry, dude. If I see that shit, then you are getting turbo blocked. Alright? Like, I don't care how nice you are. Just do not do that. There are other ways that you can get turbo blocked. Normally, I block you if you're exhibiting bot behavior If you try to advertise to me about stuff, or if you just seem like you're the kind of person who will stir shit with other people, like that kind of stuff, then I'll block you. But like, I'm way too nice about stuff. Anyway, John says, I don't really drink tea, but I don't mind jasmine. Jasmine is an excellent tea. Puppet's also here, so Perp, hello. Puppet says, Ambrosia with honey tea or passion fruit green tea if cold tea. Also excellent. Both of those are excellent choices. I do like jasmine tea for a green tea because it's very floral and it's very light. So it just reminds me of winters back when I was a kid, because my mom she swears up and down that she never got jasmine green tea, but I swear up and down that she totally did. And that's what we used to drink that's what we used to drink. That's what we used to drink when I was a kid. Jasmine green tea with honey. And I do miss those days. So there are certain parts of my childhood that I do miss. But Puppet says, hiya, hello. But yes, we are going to start sprinting in about a little over 10 minutes. I'm just kind of like chilling out and also just talking about this one dude that I had to block on B-Sky. Like, I don't really talk too often about blocking people because I don't want to also cause drama, right? I don't want to also be that person who's like, I'm low-key making fun of this person, but like, I'm sorry. It's just the entire idea that they thought that I was dumb enough to buy the I found this on Google Images thing and then proceeded to like not take the fucking hint. Like, anyway. Puppet says, I didn't used to drink tea, but Chai got me like 6 to 7 metal tins of 6 to 7 metal tins of different teas because I mentioned to her I never drank actual tea before. Good on her. I will shove loose leaf tea at you as well if you ever want to. Like, I've already promised Aiden and Callisto that I'd go and send them. I actually do have some tea right here at home that I'm thinking about sending them anyway because I bought it and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not sure if this will interact with my medicine negatively. I should probably not drink this, but it is great for sleeping, and it's like a relaxing mix of butterfly pea and skullcap and I think there's chamomile in there. It's from my absolute like, I have a favorite loose leaf tea place in Manhattan. And I'm going off on several different tangents, but whenever I'm running low on tea, I actually go to St. Mark's Place, which is some name that should be familiar to the people who are into punk rock history, because that is the place where you basically went if you were a punk rocker back in the 80s. Nowadays, it's full of hipster stores, and in the basement of, if you've ever seen the Rolling Stone, I think it was, the Rolling Stones had an album or something like that, called Physical Graffiti. Jesus, I now need to look this up. Led Zeppelin. I am so dumb. Led Zeppelin had an album called Physical Graffiti, and the cover of it is actually a tenement apartment building in St. Mark's Place. But nowadays, there is a tea shop in the basement, appropriately named Physical Graffiti. So instead of T-I, it's T-E-A, and it is the best tea shop that I've ever been to. The personnel there are so nice. They are so knowledgeable about their tea, and the tea that you get there is so good. It's so amazing. I go there and I buy a large bag of cream Earl Grey, and I'm set for the entire year. But I also have gotten their chamomile, and that chamomile is the best that I've ever had. Like, the absolute best. You actually have the flower buds in there, and it tastes so good when it's whole flower buds that you just brew perfectly. And yeah, so I also bought Sleepy Mix from them. It is, I think it's called Blue Haze or something like that. I'm too lazy, or Deep Purple, that's what it's called. It's Deep Purple. I'm too lazy to get up and look at the bag, I'm sorry. And it's supposed to be their most relaxing blend, but I am too chicken shit to try it, so I might be sending that off to friends with a little packet of my absolute favorite teas. But I would be willing to do that for basically any buddies whatsoever. So tell me if you like black tea or green tea, and if you trust me, like, give me a place to send it. I will totally hook you up. But that's just for Puppet. Like, none of y'all comment on my stream and ask for tea, please. But Puppet says, "Oh, FFS, do you recall me mentioning the LWIW guild? We had someone who was posting very obvious AI art of their D&D character claiming they made it. A queer guild obviously had a ton of artists in it, and they fucking raged. As they should. That is the thing about AI art. I was actually watching a video last night, before I got on to FF, and it was about this drama. I like watching about book talk drama, but in this video, somebody had posted about a story idea that they had, and that they were thinking about sitting down to actually write. When a viewer of theirs, a dude, is like, "Oh, well, I decided to feed that idea to AI and write it," as he quote-unquote said, "and here's the book. I'm going to give it to the author, and she can do whatever she wants with it." And the author's like, "Why would you do that?" And the guy kept on doubling down and being like, "Well, it's new technology, and also let's do a competition where you write a book, maybe the one that you write, and I will write as many books as I can in the same amount of time, and we'll give them to an audience and see which they prefer." And he was like not getting it, not fully understanding that the entire point of art is to allow an artist to express themselves, because a lot of the AI people who do AI gen art only think about the end result. They think that the entire point of art is to come up with a product at the very end that you then hand off to an audience. Where in actuality, art is about the actual process, the putting into sitting down and putting your thoughts into words, as the video said, but also like just putting yourself in a physical form, like putting part of your soul, your part of your heart in a physical form, and putting it on canvas or the screen or what have you, just anything. But yeah, that is why a lot of, aside from copyright issues, that is why a lot of creators, like artists and authors, do not support AI, because it misses, as I've mentioned ages ago, it misses the point of art. It's all about producing a product and getting to that finish line, not about the actual process of creating art. So it misses something there. That having been said, like, if one of my friends like generates I shouldn't say anything. Because, like, I know that I have some friends who generate AI art, but it's for personal use. They don't post it online, like that one dude that I just blocked. They don't they fully acknowledge that what they're doing is, like, not good at all. They still do it, and it's like, I don't know what to say to you guys. Like, go ahead. I can't stop you, I guess, but so long as you continue to keep it to yourself. Like, it's sort of like using mods in FF. I know I know I just went off about how I am very anti-AI, and I will never use AI myself, and I will block anybody who posts AI on social media. But it's different because, like, when you post AI and claim it as your own art, or you're posting AI with no credit whatsoever, you are therefore trying to gain an audience through AI art, and that's not okay. Nah, I shouldn't. It's like, I should be consistent with it. I am actually uncomfortable when my friends do generate AI art, and it's like, I don't know what to say to them. I have had long conversations about one person who used to use Claude all the time. I told him straight out, you know, when you tell me that you fed your paper into Claude to edit it, what you're saying to me is that you would hire an editor. And I have lost clients because of that kind of thing. But that did not stop that friend. I don't know what exactly did. I think it was politics and environment, and it's like, what can I say? But Puppet says, to be clear, I was on the artist side. I hate people claiming they made AI art. I left my last FC over that someone genned like 30 to 40 fucking images and pretended that they had effort put towards it. Thank you. Thank you. That said, yeah, I do wish that there are people that we both talk to who use AI art. I wish they wouldn't. Like, I guess, what can I say? Like, I don't know how to talk to them about it, and that's the other thing. Like, it's so much easier to tell a stranger who comes into your notifications and is like, hey, look, I have done AI, I have low-key done AI art, but I'm not actually calling it that. And that, you know, you can be like, I don't know you that well, and also you just assume that I'm stupid, so you're getting a block. But when it's somebody that you're super close to, it's sort of like, how do you talk to your friends about AI art usage? It's sort of like the PSAs from the 90s of talk to your loved ones about drugs and safe sex and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. John says, I just want to confess that the current story I am writing was inspired by a conversation I had with AI, but nothing from it was generated with AI. So long as you don't use AI now. Puppet says, I think nuance is important. Someone making a gag gen is a lot more forgivable than people just claiming AI art as their own, because praise gives them the feel-goods. That's very true. And it's a similar situation with that dude who I just blocked. It's sort of like they posted AI art, zero credit, zero explanation as to what it was. So technically they weren't claiming it, but at the same time, why the fuck were you posting it, you know? But in any case, it is 3:20. I have promised sprints at some point. So I think we will set things aside. I'm going to use the first part of my time to figure out how much I actually wrote last night post midnight, and then carry on with the rest of the chapter. I'm aiming to write at least the rest of chapter 4 and into chapter 5. We'll see. The rest of you, I hope that you do have a project, and if you do, get to your stations, my dude. Shake out those fingies and wiggle them. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. One more time, in. And out. 20 minutes are on the clock. I'm wishing you all the best of luck. Get ready, get set, and here we go.
Other side of Death Valley.
Whoop, sorry about that. sprint number 1. How did we do? Let's see, 197 plus 174. I cannot math. Hold on. Seven plus 174, 371, which is not bad for a warm-up. I'm going to track that real quick. Let's see, what was that? That 197 plus 174, 371. Is that correct? Yeah. We have also come to the end of chapter 4, and we're going into chapter 5. It's a little bit of a mess going into it, but these chapters of, getting to the main conflict are a little bit messier because I was very vague in this part of the outline, but we are getting there, slowly but surely. And it will come together. I just have to trust the process. I also did not do as detailed of an outline as I usually do, so there's that as well. But other than that, you know, I'm going to let y'all rest. I was, again, thinking about doing something a little bit different in the sense that I did not do the First Line Friday, so I might do the respond to First Line Friday posts during this break. I don't know if I'll be reading stuff aloud. I'm not sure if anybody would be cool with that, but so I might actually be giving you all a rest from hearing my voice longer. So in any case, let's see. Perp says, I need to go to the 99 Ranch more often and stop letting crowds scare me. I am looking up what 99 Ranch is right now. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah, we do have those, but, American Asian Supermarket. Where do I see those? I have to admit, I think that they're not in a lot of places around here. I'd hate to say it, but I think I mostly see those in the more rundown areas of New York, which is why I was like, what is that exactly? But, yeah, we mostly have H Mart up here, in the not so rougher areas. But yeah, don't let crowds scare you. Go and get your foods. John says 188 words done. That is excellent progress and excellent warm-up. Puppet says it's cheap Asian groceries. The food is so good and it's so affordable. See, that's probably yeah. Yeah, it took a second, but once I saw that logo, I was like, oh, I have passed those before. There are some in the Bronx, and not the nice areas of the Bronx. So I passed by them because the highways would go past them. But like I said, usually up here we have H Mart, and we don't necessarily have too many of the 99 ranches in the yeah, yeah. Puppet says they sell baked sweet potato right in the store and have a food stalls with a ton of stuff. Yeah, that actually sounds like our H Marts, although we don't always have baked sweet potatoes. Really depends on where you go, but ours are usually like you have a bunch of stalls right around the entrance or in like an attached mini mart that sell Asian goods. You usually also have like an Asian food hall. Like some of the best curry that I've ever had was at the H Mart in Westchester. I think it's White Plains or something like that. It's like got a whole bunch of stuff like katsudon and curry. One of them sells Chinese food. Another one sells I don't even remember. It's been years since I've been, but it's so good. And then you just have the rest of the Asian grocery store, and H Mart is a little bit more. It depends on what you're getting there. Like the packaged stuff is a little bit more expensive, but like the produce is like the cheapest I've ever gotten. So I used to go. I don't have access to an H Mart unfortunately because I don't have access here because basically I live in an area where I'd have to drive to get to the H Mart. I do miss being in like Manhattan proper, or just like a couple subway stops away from Flushing, where you have access to the H Marts just by walking. But up here, oh well. But I do miss it. It's amazing in terms of it had the best bok choy that I've ever had, like the freshest, and it would be only like a huge bag for only a couple bucks. But oh well. Puppet says H Mart is pretty good too, right? And the other one that my mom talks about that's more south and west and, well, actually just south in general, because I think they have them in the southwest and southeast, but it's called Seafood City. That one is more Filipino, but it's the same concept, and oh man. Like, guys, get yourself an Asian grocery store, they're all good. But, like, yeah, they can be crowded, but it's so worth it. It's like you're all there just for food, so like go and get your food and don't worry too much about how crowded places are. You will elbow your way through for tofu. Anyway. Puppet says, I'm from small town South Texas. Crowds are a culture shock for me. I gotcha. We just need to give you exposure therapy. We'll throw you into Times Square and you'll be fine. Puppet says, I had an old lady run a cart over my foot and not even say anything. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's it. That's how it goes sometimes. You will have a cute little old Asian lady just like get into your personal space, and it's just a thing that you'll have to deal with. But it's fine, so long as nothing's broken. it's just a good day to chill, I think. Like, I feel okay with hammering out words today and doing absolutely nothing otherwise. I am very tempted to spend at least one break just lying on the couch and reading. Because it's like gloomy out there, it's been hot all week, it is a holiday. I don't feel guilty at all about not doing, like, not being on the go for at least one of these days. That having been said, it's going to be shitty weather all week, so that's a little bit sad. Like, by that I mean raining later on today. In fact, thundering, so that's going to be fun. I think Tuesday and Wednesday are the only 2 days where it's not going to be absolutely blah. No, actually, looking at this, it's kind of funny. I think it's supposed to be like that every single day now that I'm looking at it. But, you know, I guess whatever. It's the height of summer, so it's like weather's not as predictable as one would think. And on top of that, it's hot as balls. Might as well stay in and reserve most of the fun stuff for the autumn. Whenever it gets fun, aesthetically fun too. Like, I've mentioned that I've made a list of places that I wanted to quote-unquote take Benjamin. Let's see, there we go. And it's a very long list, and it's mostly full of museums and whatnot, but like, this weather lately, either the heat or the storms have kept me indoors the entire time. Like today, I could have gone out and experienced at least one of the things on the list, but at the same time, it's like, it's supposed to storm at some point, so it is what it is. But, you know, around September it usually chills out, maybe late August, so I'm going to start planning for fun stuff then. And we'll see. Though, Shakespeare in the Park is one of the things on the list, and that is a summer-only thing, so that makes me a little sad. I should have gone earlier in the year. I should have gone anyway earlier in the year because they were doing Romeo and Juliet until this month, and although I know Romeo and Juliet is such a basic bitch Shakespeare play, I do like interpretations of it. Like, ever since I saw the 90s film, it's like, oh, people can do some really awesome stuff, so I'm always kind of interested in seeing what they do with it. But John says, I like a good storm. I like being inside when there's a good storm. Like, inside and in a corner, because I'm actually afraid of lightning, but I do like hearing the sounds. It's so weird. But only if I'm nowhere near the outdoors when it happens. So, that's how I operate. Anyway, we're going into the next sprint. So, if you're not back, get back to your stuff. And 20 minutes are on this clock. Good luck, everybody. that is the second sprint. How did we do? Let's see. Here we go. 532 words for the sprint, which again, also not that bad. I had to do a little bit of side research. I will tell you a bit in a quick second. So yeah, I have never actually fought with weapons, so I just needed to do a little bit of side research. And right now it's a scene where the bee learns how to fight, and it's very cute. But apparently it's not that different from boxing, like fighting with knives. Not that you should know this, but yeah, it's kind of I do need to get back into boxing or fighting, because writing it here now, it's like I do miss the way that you just kind of work your body that way, because it is a full-on workout, and it does get out a lot of frustrations, and it does, like, it feels natural whenever you find that the right stance for it and stuff like that. So like, I'm over here miming the stance of how one would fight, and it's like, oh yeah, my back feels strangely better now that I'm not fucking leaning over. John says 199 words down, and the main characters have met the immortal Coffee King. That is fantastic. I am delighted that there is an immortal Coffee King at all. I feel like that would be I feel like that would be me if I lived in the Hitchhiker's Guide universe. Anyway. Like I said, this is going to be a long one. I am going until probably 6 o'clock. But it is nice that I've basically made I made my minimum count, because I promised myself that every single day I would write a minimum of 500 words. Maximum should be 12 or 1612. I did not make 1612 on a couple of those days. So that's why I'm kind of like trying to run a little bit ahead on this weekend, and in general weekends as a whole. Which is also why I'm not super duper too broken up about the fact that at least next weekend looks like it's going to be shit weather. Because yeah, absolutely, give me that shit weather and give me an excuse to have me stay indoors. Also, side point, I always make crepes and then forget that for some reason my body doesn't particularly like crepes. They're so, or at least the crepes that I make. Maybe it's because I use too much butter and dairy products in it and I'm mildly lactose intolerant. But like, I'm feeling great. Or maybe it's just like the heat that's involved with actually cooking them. Usually whenever you make crepes, you're standing in front of the stove for a long period of time, and when you have a gas stove, the second that you turn that gas stove on, it's like you've basically heated up the entire apartment. John says the immortal Coffee King is a fun but terrifying character. Do go on. So yeah, with crepes, delicious. Would prefer to eat somebody else's, and I get the feeling that eating my own, making and eating my own is why I kind of feel like, that and chugging a whole bunch of coffee. I just had a whole rash of bad decisions. I think this afternoon, I think the only not bad decision was like not setting an alarm and letting myself just sleep in for as long as I felt like it, because I needed that. I've been sleeping on and off this entire weekend, and in general, I've just needed it. Um, because I'm not super duper looking forward to work tomorrow, because I know that there are 7,000 things that I will need to do. It's going to be yet another one of those days where I'm working from sun up to sundown, which is going to suck, but you know, I guess it is what it is. You chug along with words. But the other thing is, like, as I'm establishing new writing habits, and also new morning habits, because I've been trying to push myself to wake up earlier and earlier so that I can go out for a walk, but because it's going to be a shitty weather all week long, I might be able to go out, instead of going out for a walk, like sitting down in the morning and writing again. But like, ultimately I want to get back to the kind of schedule that I had last year, or even in the spring, where I woke up at like 7:30, got ready, took a walk, and sat down somewhere to write. I don't remember exactly what unseated that. I think it's just because over the winter, it was basically, I got snowed in essentially. But whatever. In any case, I'll figure it out. John says he has a reputation of not dying, like he took over Boston by simply walking into rival gang strongholds and killing everyone, despite apparently dying several times. Jeez. Now I understand. So where does the coffee come in? as afraid of the answer to that question as I am. John says, in the story, tech is regressing backwards, so coffee became hard to import for some reason beyond reason. He has a way of growing coffee in Boston with medieval tech. That okay. So that makes sense, and also is incredibly impressive considering the fact that Boston is in no way the right climate for growing coffee or landscape at all. So I'm impressed too. All right. Starting in on our next sprint. Good luck. All right, how did we do? Let's see, where did I stop? Oh, here we go. Another 460 words. Again, not bad. We are deep into this chapter. If I can finish this chapter, that's when I will probably stop for the day. But, you know, we're aiming for... I don't know, I kind of do want to try to aim as high as possible. Where are we standing right now? We are at 1708 words right now, which again, overall, that includes some words that I wrote after midnight last night. So we're well on our way. We have hit our daily minimum. If we can write more than that, excellent. That way I can get a head start for the words for tomorrow, maybe even the 6th chapter, and come out of it a-okay. But this chapter that I'm working on is a very long one between an elf who does not like Zizoon and a Zizoon character, and we're kind of building up repertoire, but it involves fighting technique that that I'm realizing has a lot of similarities to ones that I've used, but at the same time is not like something that I've used, so it's kind of interesting to kind of do a little bit of side research to build this up. But it's definitely something that I might need to tweak later on or hand to somebody who actually knows how to fight with a knife and tell me what I did wrong. Anyway, John says 159 words, I think. Forgot where I started. That happens. Oh, that is also the 3rd sprint that we've done today. Like I said, we are going for more than this. I will probably just refresh the timer set so that we can go for an additional 3 sprints. But making excellent progress, so I'm excited. I, again, am aiming to have the 5th chapter finished by the end. And I'd imagine that it's not going to be that much longer. Like, right now, it's just building up or breaking down barriers between 2 characters and having this cute little... It's not really cute or intimate. They're not love interests whatsoever. They are just growing into a sort of reluctant allyship. It's not going to be enemies to lovers in that sense. Absolutely not. It's just going to be enemies to, I have adopted you and all of your entire swarm. You are my soft little bees that I am going to keep safe. It's sort of like that one meme where from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where the tough character goes into a room and goes, I have had Arlo for only a day and a half, but if anything should happen to him, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself. That is what we're building up to. But it's slow going. It's not really slow going. This is actually more enjoyable than I was anticipating. And it does feel good because writing has been not exactly a chore, but it's not something that I found to be easy as of late. And I know that it's because so much in life has just I've been working so hard lately and doing so much that it's difficult to sit down and be like, all right, I am going to have fun putting effort into things. So I'm just tired all of the time. But whenever I get into a good bit where it feels like I'm building something up, it starts to feel good again. And I am actually, very little is happening like right now. Like, it is a conversation about stances, and it's conversations between characters. And we are just 5 short chapters into this book, but it's already feeling like it's moving faster than what I was working on beforehand, and it feels a lot more fun to build it up than what I was doing beforehand. Because I don't know, it's also that with the Nameless Song, like, I have ideas on where it should go, and the problem is that I was trying to do so much in so few chapters, because one of my betas kept on saying, hey, we don't get to the part where he turns into a dragon until like 30,000 words in, and I'm like, alright, I kind of need those 30,000 words to build up the world though, and the story, and to explain why he did these things though. And it was more like, he said specifically that the inciting incident doesn't happen until chapter 7. So I was like, cool, okay, so I'm going to try to get it done in chapter 4 or 5. But the problem is, because I needed that build-up, chapter 4 or 5 happened in 20,000 to 30,000 words nonetheless. So we had giant chapters. And then you have this thing where the inciting incident is Honeysuckle, this bee, meets a bunch of people she thinks will help her take down the people who are keeping her swarm hostage. And that happens in like, let me see. Yeah, in like 5,000 words in? Let me just kind of check these out. Oh wow, chapter 1 is 99 words. Chapter 1 is 1,157 words. Just for funsies, I am actually looking back at the other chapters. Chapter 2 is 2,196 words, so we'll say that's 3,200 words so far. And chapter 3 is another 2,192 words. So, oh, that is chapter 3. Damn. Open ellipsis. Okay, so it's like under 5,000 words when the deal happens that where Honeysuckle convinces the lesbian cowboys to help her out. So it's like so much faster and so much tighter than the Nameless Song. But also that does mean that if I can get this out first, like you already have basically an introduction to this world. So I'd be able to cut out more from the Nameless Song, so excellent. But yeah, it's still a work in progress. I think the point that I was trying to make is it does feel a lot better and a lot more fun, and like I'm building something up that can actually work as a book, as opposed to what I was doing beforehand. Not that I am shitting on the Nameless Song. I am hope it, like, there are people who like the premise and who like where it's going. It's just that it's difficult to write because it's so big, and it's got a long way still to go. But this, it's like we're almost to. What's going to happen in the next chapter is they are essentially going to be on the outskirts of San Valentino, where Honeysuckle's swarm is. They're going to fight monsters, save this, essentially show off that they're really getting to be a unit, or at least it's going to be another little bit. I don't know. I have yet to solidify the plans for that, but it's like they're going on down a set of mountains to the other side. They're going to go through monster territory, fight their way through, get to the swarm, be received by the swarm. Little bit of preparation, and then we're going to get to like the first fight. It's like a very quick novel in comparison. Right now, I think I'm still not at 10,000 words, and we're already getting very close to a third of the way through. And then after that, so like all in all, like I don't think that's going to be a very long book, which honestly, excellent. I'd ideally like to aim for like 90,000 or so words, but I don't know if I'll make it to that. And you know, if it doesn't make it to that, all the better. It's a short novel, cool. Short novella, I don't know, something. But you know, something easier to query, maybe. Or at least it's a draft that I can add to and develop more, and then it becomes a slightly longer big book. But I really don't want it to be super duper long. Like, I don't want it to take as long as TNS did, and I don't want it to be like the doorstop that TNS is turning into. John says, I'm still on the prologue of this new story, been out of writing for a while, and I felt burnt out, but I like this new story and another story that's set in the same universe. Totally understandable, and that also explains why I haven't seen you around for a bit, isn't it? I'm so sorry to hear that you've been feeling burned out. That feeling is very familiar. I hope that you got plenty of rest, and it's great to see you back again, for sure. But yeah, it's okay to ease back into it. And I'm delighted to hear that you like where this is going, for sure. But yeah. It occurs to me that I did not turn off the UI for Spirit City, so you've been like seeing all the shit the entire time. My bad. Not that it like makes a difference, because you really can't see. Oh. There we go. Like, oh no, now you know what level I'm on and how long I've been idling in this game. It's not as often as I probably should. Like, I can definitely go for longer in this game and earn those tickets and buy all the things. And honestly, that is my next goal, like, collect everything. But, for now, you know, I kind of tend to work with YouTube in the background, which is terrible, and also probably why I constantly feel burned out, because it's like constant something at my side, which is terrible. Do not do that. Anyway. Puppet says, I fell asleep. What tickets were you talking about? Oh, in-game, the in-game currency, so this that you're seeing on your screen right now is called Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions. And, you know, this timer's done, so I have time to actually show you. Let me toggle UI visibility back on and hide the timer real quick. Oh, I even leveled up. Cool. So, when you idle, when you complete tasks, including timers, or when you level up, you get these, which are called tickets, essentially. They're probably called something, or spirit credits. I always call them tickets because they look like tickets. And what you use them for is literally everything. Like, let's say that you want to buy new clothing. Everything here costs tickets. Let's say that you want to, you collect spirits in this game by idling while having your background set certain ways. Like, for example, if one gets attracted by, you can set the lighting for like morning, afternoon, daylight, or night, or sunset or night. So as well as tweak what sound effects that you have, what your character's doing as you idle, and so on and so forth. And it might be like, okay, to attract this spirit, all you need to do is make sure that you're playing this sound effect at this time of day and while you're doing this activity. It's never that straightforward. It always gives you like a little riddle for you to solve, like, oh, this spirit gets attracted to the sound of the wind while every time that I sit, it might say something like, every time that I sit on my bay window ledge and read while it's thunderstorming, I hear the sounds of something strange nearby. And that's your hint that, okay, there's going to be a spirit if you set it up so that it's thunderstorming at night while you're in the bay window area of your little space and you're reading. I think that is actually how you get this little bee minion. But you can collect those minions. Those ones are free. However, if you want to customize them, let's say I wanted to go with this one, these also cost tickets. So there's that as well. I don't mind that one, but I always travel with the bee. I already bought all of his colors, so he's got like all kinds of funky stuff. I should do that one. Furniture is also not free. Some sets are free, like your starter sets, but then you can buy stuff to customize your space even further. Let's say you want to also decorate and shape the actual interior or exterior. These also cost monies. It's a whole bunch of you idle, you earn tickets, and then you use those tickets to buy more stuff, like more backgrounds, more things to make your space your own. But yeah, like I said, I could jack up my spiritographer rank because the higher level that you get, the more achievements you unlock as well. There are achievements tied to your spiritographer rank, which is your level, which indicates how long you've spent idling or doing tasks. And I could earn shit tons of credits to go and on shopping sprees to buy everything. I've already got all of the spirits though. So it's basically just like waiting around for more DLC to pop up. But speaking about popping up, let me set up the next sprint. And on that note, like I said, I'm going until about 6 o'clock or whenever I finish the 5th chapter, / if I feel like going into the 6th chapter, we'll see. It would be awesome if I could get 3,000 words like I did yesterday, but if not, I am ahead of the game either way, so I am taking it. Like, I will say this, I've written more this week than I have in a while. I have been struggling so badly on even just sitting down to write, so it's feeling good to even do the 500 word minimum. But the fact that I've been breaking 1,000 words a day is a feat, and I'm going to keep up that momentum as much as possible and get as much done on this book as possible. But we'll see. We'll see. That having been said, 20 minutes are on the clock again, so I will see you on the other side. did that go? Let's see. Here we go. 551 additional words. So far, so good. And we're like literally half sentence away from finishing up this chapter. So I'm probably going to go easy on the next sprint. We do have 2 more sprints to do. And it is 5:30, so I intend on at least doing one of them. But, yeah, we are so ahead of the game. Let's see, we did 2,259 words today alone. So that's not super duper bad. I'm going to at least finish this chapter. Then I'm going to have to look at my notes and see where I want to go for the next one. I might actually take an extended little bit of a break and go a little bit silent for the next few minutes while I do that and just sort of like give my brain a quick rest. Because like, I know that I didn't start this chapter on the side of sleep, but you know, I did write the majority of it, and a lot of it did involve some research and staring at screens, so let me just take a little bit of a break. Be right back. All right, next 20 minutes, and here we go. that is the second sprint of batch number 2. How did we do? I admit that I kind of fell behind. That's 155 plus 168 equals 323 on this run. I admit I'm not sure how many people are still around. If you are, I give you plenty of commendation. Let me just check and see how long we've been going. We've been going for 3 hours and 18 minutes so far. That is an impressive amount of work. John says 186 more words. Yes, excellent work, excellent work. I have gotten into chapter 6. I'm not 100% sure I am down with where it's going right now. I am kind of feeling my way forward. John says I am here, and I am delighted that you're here, that you have survived over 3 hours of this. We are coming up to the very last sprint. And this will be the last sprint of the night because it is already 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I need to take a long rest before figuring out what I'm having for dinner. But, you know, it's all good because let's see how many words have I gotten. On just today, I have gotten 2,582 words. Puppet says same. I love you too, Pup. I'm never calling you Pup again. I am so sorry. I thank you for sticking around for so long, Perp. John says I'm nearly done with the prologue. Excellent job. Hopefully at this next sprint, will push you over the edge. But yeah, this will be our last sprint coming up. Just because, again, I need rest, and then I need to figure out how dinner works, and then do a couple of chores I've been kind of ignoring the entire day. But that having been said, I am in the midst of the 6th chapter, and what's interesting is I accidentally had each of the chapters focus on, since the inciting incident, kind of focus on each of the other Aces High. That's the band of lady gunslingers. So the chapter, like, there is Jane, of course, the leader, and she's in all of these, and we see enough of her to get a sense of who she is. And then, of course, Honeysuckle is the client, so of course we see her developing some kind of repertoire with the others. But the first the first of these chapters, which was chapter 4, focused on Miri, who is the mechanic and tinkerer and demolitions expert. And Miri is actually very quick to befriend Honeysuckle. I don't establish why. That might be something that I add in on a later draft, or something that I just leave as implied, but basically Miri's only exception to the job is that it's not vetted. But other than that, she doesn't mind Honeysuckle as a person. Just because Miri kind of grew up in a larger city back east, so the larger city had a Zizun district of its own, a Zizun colony. So she grew up kind of knowing about Zizun and kind of learning how to coexist with them, and just kind of like, she's fascinated by them, but also she's kind of chill with them because they were just like a couple neighborhoods over. So she thinks of them fondly, which means that when Jane's like, yeah, we're gonna do this job, I'm not even gonna listen to whether or not it's dangerous. Miri's entire stance goes from, I really don't want to do this job because it's unvetted, to, well, Jane kind of is doing it anyway. Everybody's on board. I'm going to do it, but also I kind of want to help the Zizun. So let's go ahead and help the Zizun. And also, the Zizun's going to listen to me ramble for an entire ride and also be totally cool with being subjected to my experiments that I'm not telling her are actually experiments. So I like her. So Mary is obviously the first one to be won over. Then Joe. Joe is an elf. And elves in general are kind of like, in this world, a little bit of dicks. A lot of them are from wealthy families. Joe is not. Joe grew up in the West. I haven't fully developed her backstory, but I can imagine her like living on a ranch for her entire life, and the ranch was only surrounded, or she was only exposed to like elves like her and Golia, who are basically serial numbers filed off Rogadin, and occasional humans, and therefore her family is kind of like a little bit on the racist side anyways. So she kind of grew up being like, alright, elves are the pinnacle of existence and everybody else is just sort of like eh. But over time hanging out with Jane and Leia, Jane's partner, she learned how to unlearn a lot of that bullshit, and she kind of became a better person for it, but she's still rough around the edges. She prefers talking with her fists, and she's just in general angry, probably because her family's really shitty. Again, still figuring out her backstory, but long story short, she hates most people anyway, and she's very rough around the edges, but she especially is creeped out by anything that doesn't even look like an elf. And in this universe, there are humanoid races, like the humans, the elves, the gnomes, and the Golia. But then you also have animal-based ones. So technically, Leia, who is a Shemir, a cat girl, is the least animal-like. But you also have like the dog-like wolves, the rabbit-like Lapine, and the bee-like Zizun. Of these, the Zizun tend to be the most closed off and misunderstood because a lot of the times they grow up in very insular communities raising each other, whereas the others either integrated or two of them integrated into various communities. So it's like normal to see a wolf wandering around, or Lapine just like, who's very most Lapine are very charismatic anyway, but they are very chill, and they often like run shops in towns and whatnot. So they are it's part of their culture to be very open and very eager to interact and coexist with the others. Whereas and the Premier just look human enough, save for a few features that nobody even thinks twice about, accepting them. But the Zizun neither look human, nor do they interact well with the others. They are, again, a very insular society. So Joe kind of finds them creepy, and is very disturbed by them. It also does not help that prior to this story, there were actually no Zizun in her part of the world. Honeysuckle's swarm is actually the first to journey that far west. So it takes time, but at the same time, you also get a sense that she has a heart of gold, because it literally just takes a chapter for her to be like, alright, maybe this specific one isn't bad. I don't hate this specific one. She punches okay. But it'll still take time, hopefully. Or at least I hope it doesn't come off as too fast. That and Joe is the kind of person where if you can get her to kind of talk about or display the things that she's best at, she doesn't care who she does it to. Who she's doing it for. She fucking loves to show off. So she has an opportunity. Jane gives her an opportunity to essentially show off through Honeysuckle and pass on her knowledge. So that kind of wins Joe over, but hopefully it takes a little bit longer. And this chapter that I'm working on right now is with Leha, who actually had no problem with the job or Honeysuckle beforehand. Basically, Leha is a massive simp for Jane, although she doesn't always say that. She is very elegant and very taciturn, meaning she doesn't really talk unless she needs to. And she mostly sticks to Jane and will do whatever Jane tells her to do. So therefore, while she tried to be the kind of voice of reason especially whenever Miri spoke up and said, hey, yeah, this job isn't vetted, that's a bad idea to take, Leha was very quick to be like, she might have a point. But also, when Jane put her foot down, Leha was also the first to be like, well, okay, whatever, if Jane thinks it's a good idea, why not? But, so really, until now, we haven't really had a good view of Leha, but now we are. And I kind of unintentionally did that, but I also am not hating it, because now it's sort of like, okay, we got to know each of the 4 members of this party. Now we can dive into the fun bits where they fight and save the swarm and stuff like that. I just have to figure out what to say in Leha's chapter. That's the downside. But we'll see. It'll probably just be a conversation chapter. Anyway, less than 3 minutes to go, so I'm going to shut up and look at my notes for a bit. 20 minutes are on the clock. I'll see you on the other side. is the last sprint. And how did we do? Let's see. Where was I don't even remember. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna assume that was here. 619 words. Dang. Okay. That is a good place to end on. 619. Which brings our grand total for today. Dang, we are already at 11,000 words. Which means that I have hit 3,000 words today. I'm actually at 3,200 words, which is about 500 behind where I was yesterday. But that is a good head start for the entire week. And with that, I am actually going to call it here. It's actually a good thing that I am too, because as it turns out, I need to recharge my headset. Apparently, my headset is kind of getting older, so the battery life isn't as good as it used to be, so it's currently dying. But that having been said, like I said, I highly doubt that I'm going to be doing, John says 429 words down. That is excellent. I hope you keep up the momentum after the stream ends, and I hope that means that you're done with the prologue. If not, I hope that you wrap it up, or are able to reach that finish line soon. I don't mean to sound so blunt. But that having been said, I will also talk a little bit about the schedule for this week. Like I said, tomorrow is probably going to be a crazy work day. I am still writing. I'm still going to try to get to 1,000 words. But there's not going to be a stream. Tuesday, same deal. Crazy work day followed by me slamming out as many words as possible. John says total words 986, which is an excellent job, well done overall. So that takes care of Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, the 8th, I am going to be doing the usual night write stream. So that's going to start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time and run until whenever. Word sprints start at 9. So if you are a night writer at all, I hope to catch you then. Again, that is going to be Wednesday the 8th. There are not going to be streams between now and then. Then after that, Thursday unfortunately is a no-go because D&D. Friday is a maybe. You know, it'll be a nice way to wrap up the week. But Saturday for certain in the morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, word sprint starting at 9 a.m. we are going to have another T-Writes. So that is going to be our Saturday morning stream, which in other words means that there are guaranteed streams on our usual guaranteed days. That is Wednesday at night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and again Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. So I hope to catch you on either of them. Definitely stay tuned on my social. That is jaxdevora.bsky.social. That's where I announce any special streams, so most likely, like I said, it's probably going to be Friday. I say most likely as in if I'm ever going to do a stream outside of the usual times. I will not know for certain if there's going to be an actual stream. It's just that that's the most likely day that one could happen if it does. So keep an eye on jaxdevora.bsky.social in case I announce a stream. And you know, you can jump in there. I do not use the community tab on YouTube, but you can always hit the bell and that will notify you of when a stream starts, but not necessarily ahead of time. You will probably get it like 10 minutes after the stream starts or whatnot. Or even afterwards. I don't know how the notification stream works. But in any case, I'm going to call it here because my headset again is dying and I need to figure out dinner and whatnot. It is currently 6:45 in the evening right here in New York City. But thank you so much for partying with me for nearly 4 hours. This was a fun little day, a fun way to spend it, and a fun way to finally get words done on a Sunday evening slash afternoon. I'm hoping to do more of these surprise day-long streams as I continue on with this draft. But no, perp, I do not want to play Pratfall right now. So at some point, but not right now. I will probably see you in a few hours after I like conk out for a little bit and then finally figure out how dinner works. But until then, you know, I again am streaming on Wednesday and Saturday, Wednesday night, Saturday morning. I again hope to see you there. And until then, thank you again for partying with me. Stay hydrated, know that you're loved, and I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye.